Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a full face using the Urban Decay Naked Basics Ultimate palette. I'm just spraying my face with a wee bit of Fix+ as always to hydrate my skin, and priming with the Rimmel Fix+Protecr Pro. I love this, it's just a really good quality drugstore product. Next, using the Urban Decay Smoothing Primer. I always put this on areas where I have any texture and also on my nose, as I have a lot of open pores on my nose. So I've already filled in my brows because I've done my brow tutorial. So I'm going to take my MAC 224 with the Urban Decay palette and use this lightest brown matte colour. They're all matte except for the one demi matte, which is the lightest colour. And I'm just using windshield wiper motions and small circular motions to build that just above the crease. Now I am hooded, so I go slightly higher than most people would on my eyelids, but we're just looking for just above the crease. Just keep building that up till you get the desired colour, and the MAC 224 is great for this. It's nice, big and fluffy, so it's going to blend everything out really, really lovely. Next I'm taking my Zoeva 227 and the darker brown in the palette, and I'm going to bring it slightly lower than the colour I've already applied. Just the same sort of motions again. These brushes are great, they sort of do the work for you, that you don't have too much blending to do with your 224 again. Again, just building that up till you get the desired colour. You see me just like looking into the monitor. I'm going back in with my 224 and just blending that out. We want like nice and seamless, no harsh lines, and doing the same on the other side. So what you do on one side, you're going to do on the other. You want it to be nice and symmetrical. Again, going back in with my MAC 224 to blend everything out, with no additional product on the brush either. I love this brush for blending, it is amazing, it's well worth the extra money. Now taking this dark colour, it's actually like a really dark plum, but I think it's absolutely beautiful when it's applied. It nearly looks like a brownie plum, and this is a Zoeva, I'm not actually sure of the number, I'll list it down below, but it's a very small fluffy brush, and it's great for like detail work on the outer corner. So I'm just patting it on and then blending and patting and blending. You want to apply the product first because it's quite dark, and you want to have more control over it. Again, just applying more product each time to get the desired depth. I'm going back in with my Zoeva 227 and blending everything together so it looks nice and seamless. Again, repeating the same steps. It's quite boring with all the blending, but you want to do as much as possible to make it look nice and blended. Next, got in with MAC Nylon and a Zoeva 234, I think it is. It's a wee flat brush, and I'm going to use this to highlight my brow bone I also use this to highlight my inner corner. I always use MAC Nylon regardless. Next I'm going to pick up my MAC Select Cover Up in NW15 and my MAC 252 flat shader brush. Using the tempera shade also to set from the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm going to start carving out a bit of my inner corner just to brighten it up a wee bit. It's not exactly like a half cut crease. For a half cut crease you would probably go out slightly higher. I just wanted it to really brighten that inner corner. So this brush is great because it has like the perfect shape you need just for carving out your lid. And you just need to take your time with things like this. There's no point in rushing out because it's going to end up like a complete mess. And then I'm just using my finger to blend the edge between the light and the dark shadow. And then setting it with a wee flat brush and the tempera or whatever, however you pronounce it, from the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. It's just a nice bright matte. And the reason you're going to set it is so that the concealer doesn't crease up onto the eyeshadows that you've already placed. And as you can see, I'm sort of looking down into the mirror where I'm able to see the line of my eyelid. So I'm just taking a wee random brush from Patty McGurgan's shop and the MAC Rose pigment. This is an absolutely beautiful pigment. I always spray my brush with a wee bit of MAC Fix+ before applying pigments. Just helps them to stick better with less fallout. And I'm applying that just at the seam where the light meets the dark. And as you can see, it's like a lovely rosy colour, but it also has like wee gold reflex through it. So I'm just adding layers just to build up the intensity of the pigment. It's one of my absolute favourite pigments. And taking my Zoeva brush again and just blending all out. Now I did try to use the lightest colour from the Urban Decay palette on my inner lid, but I wasn't really feeling it. So I actually changed to the Illamasqua Furore pigment. This is also a really lovely pigment that can be used as a highlighter, an inner corner highlight, brow bone highlight. I absolutely love it. Next, taking my Zoeva 317 wing liner brush, which is my favourite brush for brows and liner. Excuse me. And my Maybelline Lasting Drama gel liner in black, which is one of the blackest I've used. The Inglet one is as black, but I just don't like the consistency of it as much as the Maybelline one. I always start at the outer corner, and then when there's less product on my brush, I will go in and do the inner corner. I always stretch out my eyes so I can get a nice sharp line. If you try to do it when your eye's not stretched, then you're just going to end up with a hot mess. And next thing, my absolute favourite foundation, MAC Studio Fix in NC15, and a big powder brush from Royal Cosmetics, I think it is, and just buffing it all in. I find powder brushes just buff foundation and so beautifully. They give a great coverage, I am all for full coverage. I absolutely just love it caked on. It's actually a really quick method of applying foundation as well, compared to using my MAC 187, which just takes that wee bit longer to build up the coverage. I'm using my Inglot 6SS brush, which is really worn, like a lot of the hairs have fell out, but it's just the perfect size now for getting in between my eyebrows, around my eye makeup and around my eyebrows. Obviously when I've already filled in my eyebrows, I don't want to be wrecking them, but it's a great wee brush just for buffing in like cream products. You can also use it on your eyes as well for shadows. Now my MAC prolongwear concealer in NC20. The NC20 is actually perfect for the NC15 foundation. It's so strange, their shades are completely different, and I just use my damp beauty blender to apply this. I think it gives the most flawless coverage. I'm not really that keen on brushes, but there's a couple that I'm going to try to see if they can convert me. Just being really careful around your eye makeup. I sort of apply a wee bit and then dab it with my finger just so it blends it out, and then take my brushes and sort of blend out again. Make sure your beauty blender is always damp so that it doesn't absorb any excess product. You want it to absorb a wee bit, especially for under your eyes, because you don't want your under eye to look too cakey or anything. If you see me talking there, it's probably to one of my children. Anytime I try to film anything, they are always like, yep, there's Aiden up in my face and I'm trying to film. So just blend around my concealer lines with my brush with no additional product on it. Next, using my collection Primed and Ready Invisible Setting Powder and a Morphe tapered highlighting brush. I absolutely love this powder. I bought it after seeing Makeup by Julie using it, and I think it's absolutely great for setting the under eye and nose sort of area for me because I am quite oily. I also sometimes like to use it as an eyeshadow base to set my concealer as it is so matte. I'm taking then my RCMA translucent powder and a big fluffy brush to set the rest of my face. The RCMA powder, it comes in the worst packaging, so I put it into an old Illamasqua powder tub. And there's my wee curly mop in again, nose in. Next, I'm going to use my MAC Studio Fix powder in NC35, I think it is, and this Makeup Revolution big fluffy bronzing brush. And I sort of use it to warm up the face when I am so pale, because it is a nice warm colour. Even though it is like technically a cool tone colour, it is a warm version of a cool tone colour, if that makes sense. You can see it just warms up the face without being too dramatic, and it also gives a wee bit of extra coverage as well. And this is my MAC Hoola bronzer and my Morphe M530 contour brush. So I'm just going to put it in like the hollows of my cheeks, and I sort of blend it up a wee bit because I have a round face and I want to take the roundness away. Just a really great wee brush for blending. I got it after Jaclyn Hill recommended it and I absolutely love it. As you can see, I do love my contour. I need to get rid of my massive forehead and my big cheeks and my double chin. Yeah, I'm contouring that double chin like there's no tomorrow, and like, please leave. So just whatever's left in the brush, I usually use to contour my nose, unless I'm going out and I would maybe do a slightly more severe contour with a smaller fluffy brush. Now this blusher is from the MAC Nutcracker collection. It's from like the coppery one, I can't remember the name of it, I'll link it down below. And this is just a wee Primark brush that I absolutely love for blusher. And for highlighting, this is a Morphe M51, I think it is. It's nice and fluffy, blends out your highlighter really evenly, where it doesn't look too shiny or anything. And this is the highlighter as well from the MAC Nutcracker collection, which is Whisper of Guilt. If you have never used Whisper of Guilt, oh my god, where have you been? This is amazing. Definitely my favourite highlighter at the minute. I always highlight my Cupid's bow as well, the tip of my nose and down the centre of my nose. Even though I'm oily, I do like highlighter down the centre of my nose. Now this is the Urban Decay 24/7 waterline pencil in shade Legend that I'm putting on my waterline. Normally I use the Maybelline Gel Lasting Drama pencils, but I just have none on me at the minute. This one is good, it's not as good, and I've had a bit of trouble with these in the past where the whole weight of it has just come straight out of the pencil. But this one seems to be holding up so far, so here's hoping. Now taking these two browns from the Urban Decay palette, and now this wee brush is just from the Anastasia palette, and the end I find is so good for blending your under eye. The brushes that are coming in palettes these days are just getting better and better all the time, so don't just throw them away straight away because like they really work. So taking my Zoeva pencil brush and the dark plummy sort of colour, and I'm just going to blend that right into my lash line, into that pencil that we already applied in the waterline, just to make it nice and smoky, and obviously connecting it up with the eyeshadow that is on your upper lid as well, so it just looks nice and seamless. And using the wee fluffy end on the other end of that Anastasia brush just to blend everything together. And taking another wee Zoeva brush, it's sort of like a wee pencil brush, and putting the MAC Nylon in my inner corner. I absolutely love this, my inner corner, it's just so nice and bright. And my mascara is the Rimmel Volume Colourist. It's the one that is meant to tint your lashes. after about 2 weeks. I don't really think it tints my lashes as much as it tints my under eyes, so I have big grey under eyes, but I absolutely love the mascara and the brush that comes with it. Now these lashes that I used look absolutely beautiful, but they are horrible when you actually see them on. They just would not sit right, but you'll see that at the end. The lipstick I'm using is Mehr. It's like Mehr. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right or not, but it's a lovely matte, like rosy pink. It's one of my absolute favourites. You can wear it all year round. Can't even really see what I'm doing here, but I didn't line my lips. Sometimes I find with matte lipsticks you don't even need to line your lips because they generally don't budge anyway. And this is the finished look with the lashes. As you can see on my would be my right eye to you, that the inner corner of the lash just is not sitting right. But I was really happy with the look and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye!